Hi there, and welcome to another episode of The Creative Writer. Today we are going to talk about summarizing your plot or turning it into a synopsis a little bit. I'm going to give you ingredients for that sort of, or like a template for that even. Yeah, but once again, all my information is in the episode description, so check it out. Let's get on to the topic, shall we? So I'm just going to read a little bit of something that I wrote based on what I think your synopsis or your like a summary of it can be a synopsis or a summary of your book or whatever, like for querying or for your back of the book. Some call it, I think some indies at least call it book blurb, but I think in traditional publishing, book blurb is when another author like comments on your book and that's on the cover. So it's synopsis or blurb, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, now let's get on to the template or what basically what you should have in your synopsis or summary. And this isn't like absolute, and you shouldn't write it exactly like this, but this is like, I'd say this will help you out. By the way, for this scenario, X is the name of our main character. How creative. So X is our main character. Like X. So yeah. X is living their unperfect life until they come across the catalyst. They hesitate. But the stakes raise and they must do something. What do they have to face and learn on their journey? I want to break that down because that's a lot. I don't know if that's a lot to take in, but let's break that down and make it a little bit more clear. So X is living their unperfect life is the first sentence. X is our main character. So our main character is living their life, like before the book happens, the plot happens, the story happens. They are living. But there has to be something wrong with that. Like something needs to change. Even if their life is generally happy before all this, it can't be perfect. Or at least, I mean, it could be picture perfect, but even then there should be something like lying underneath, lurking underneath some imperfection. Or, I mean, nobody's life is perfect. So, like for example, I don't know, most people have read Harry Potter. I don't think his life was that good, like in that cupboard under the stairs. You get the point. Anyway, you should show your reader what the main character's life is like before the story happens, because that way we get to experience the journey from there to the end, and the character arc becomes full, and yeah. So then the next sentence, it was until they come across the catalyst. The catalyst is something that drives them into action. For example, for Harry, in Harry Potter, that is when Hagrid comes and says, "You're a wizard, Harry." Why did I say it in such a weird voice? I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, there's something that happens. If you've read Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Thorns and Roses, this isn't going to be any big spoiler. But if you don't want to hear, yeah. But basically, this is what happens. Not right at the beginning, but in the beginning. Like a beast comes to get Feyre to breathe in. So it's a Beauty and Beast retelling, by the way, if you didn't know. So yeah, that's the catalyst. Something changes. Something major happens, or I don't know if it even has to be that major. But usually it's quite major. Usually the person leaves their home or something. At least yeah, at least in most stories, I think the main character leaves their home. Uh, Not in all of them, by the way, but in many cases, yes. Uh, but then the third chapter was They Hesitate. And this is kind of, I think it's too big of thing. I have it in one sentence, like 2 words, one sentence, and uh, you don't necessarily need to have hesitation written in your synopsis because the hesitation might be so short in the book. It honestly might be like a moment, just a moment when they hesitate. Um, but on the other hand, I think usually main characters hesitate at multiple points. Um, so yeah, they somehow hesitate. I mean, I honestly can't remember much about reading Harry Potter, the first book. But I don't think Harry was just like, yeah, I'll go with this stranger straight away. I honestly can't remember right now, but I think he hesitated at least a little bit. But it can be literally like one paragraph. But usually I would like split it in multiple uh, points in the book. But you know your story, you know what works for that. But then the next sentence is, but the stakes raise and they must do something. And this is talking about like in the more so in the like beginning, not at the end, because at the end the stakes raise even higher. So you should move upwards with that. So yeah, and it's not always like the stakes raise. I wouldn't really describe it in every story like that. So yes, this isn't perfect. But like they must do something. Focus on that. They have to do something. Like Harry has to go to Hogwarts, or you know. But then this is also about. Well, actually, the next sentence is more about it. What do they have to face and learn is the next sentence, and well, Harry has to face, for example, in the first book, he kind of faces Voldemort. Um, so what do they have to face and learn? That's more so about like towards the end of the book. Like obviously you shouldn't give away what's going to happen in the book, but you should kind of like tease your reader about what's going to happen. And I think in querying you can give away more. I mean, you should probably give away more than in the back cover of your book. So this, or how you are going to use this, depends on whether you are traditionally or self-published, or aiming to be one of those. So yeah, let's go through this again, just to make sure I'm not like confusing anyone. Your main character is living their unperfect life. Let your reader know about their life before the story, until they come across the catalyst. So something major happens, like usually more or less life-changing, and that makes them act. But before that, they might hesitate, and they might hesitate later on in the book too. But yeah, but the stakes raise, and they must do something. So they must have to do something, like perhaps they have to leave their home, for example. What do they have to face and learn? And that's kind of tricky because you don't want, if it's your back cover that your readers will read before they read the book, you don't want to give away what's going to happen in the book, but you want to tease them what's going to happen, like a trailer of sorts. So you shouldn't also necessarily tell your reader right away, like what will the character learn, because usually the reader can tell by the end of the book. And usually, if you're using 3-act story structure, most stories are 3-act story structure, use 3-act story structure, then you shouldn't then usually in the first act your character lives the unperfect life, then comes the second act, and they are trying to reach their goal, and by the third act, they usually realize that what they wanted, like what their original goal was, wasn't quite what they actually need. So that changes. But I can make a whole episode about, you know, threat story structure. So yeah, let me read this one more time in case some of you forgot this. So X is living their unperfect life until they come across the catalyst. They hesitate, but the stakes raise and they must do something. What do they have to face and learn? And that's it. If you want me to continue on this topic, feel free to ask me there. All my information is in the episode description. And thank you so much for watching this again or listening to this again. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next episode. Bye!